Alright, hey guys, it's been a long time since I've posted a video on here, but this is just a video that I have to post. Okay, what's going on is this. So, I was recently messing around with my Sega CD, and I was like, you know what, there was a video game that came out a long time ago called Crime Patrol, and I want to play this game, Crime Patrol. So I looked on eBay and it's going for like 35 bucks or something like that. And I was like, well, I'll see what this is all about. So I looked it up on YouTube. And while looking on YouTube, I saw that it's another American Laser Games production. Pretty much plays about the same as Who Shot Johnny Rock, which is a terrible game. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the FMV games, so the concept was great. But the controls were just awful. The controls were awful, so I was like, well, I'll just watch a video of it and see what it's like. So anyway, I watch a video, and I see it's completely the controls are completely terrible. The concept sounds cool, but it's the when you have the gun, it has a cursor on the screen that follows where you point the gun, and so you can't ever get the gun there in time. And I don't know, it's retarded. It's just like Mad Dog McCree and all those other ones. Great games. The video looks great, but it's just the controls are just awful. They should have done like Lethal Enforcers or Duck Hunt. Those are good light gun games. But the American Laser games are just terrible when it comes to the reaction. And it's, well, it has nothing to do with American Laser games. That Corpse Killer's another one that's just completely awful. It's just beyond awful. But anyway, so I was like, well, I'll just look on and see if there's one on torrent. So I looked, and the only ones available on torrent are on PC, and I just didn't feel like messing with that, so I was like, well, screw it. Anyway, while I was looking on torrent, I happened to notice that there was a pack called the Complete Sega CD Library, and so I was like, well, maybe it has Crime Patrol. It didn't, but while I was looking through the library, of course, I have like a huge slew load of games, so it really wasn't that important. But anyway, I noticed that in the library was Penn and Teller's Smoke and Mirrors. Now, for those of you who don't know, this game was never released to the public. It was going to be released, and then at the last moment, I guess the company went bankrupt or something like that, which is what I read on Wikipedia or whatever. And then the game was never released. Now, I remember Sega Visions doing a big mock-up on it in '95. It was like a 2-page ad, and talking about, all the crap that you could do in the game. I remember they made a big deal about the desert bus. And so, when I saw that on the torrent last night, I was like, I've got to play this stupid game. Come to find out what it was somebody was sent the game, the demo, to play it, review it, for a magazine, I guess. Anyway, the guy played it, he reviewed it or whatever, and then he locked it up in his basement or something like that. And then 10 or 12 years later, he came across it, and then he sent it to another guy, which is like, hey, look what I found. And this guy made a copy of the image and put the CD image up on torrent for everybody and their dog to download. And so it's, I guess, been leaked, but for the better. So anyway, you can go to Wikipedia and type in Penn and Teller Smoke and Mirrors to get more information on that and read more information on Desert Bus. But that was the one game I really wanted to play. And so here's some footage of Desert Bus and the awesomeness that it is. Anyway, okay, so now we're about to play Desert Bus, and the whole story behind it is evidently everybody was throwing all kinds of fits about violent video games, and so one of Penn and Teller's friends came up with the idea to really stick it to everybody about this whole video games are violent thing. And they're like, why don't we just have a video game where it's just a big old long bus trip from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas. And so that's about the concept here. I guess we'll get to it. Yeah. desert bus. Yeah, I'll edit this out. H. There we go, guys. Okay, so you notice there's a slight pull here to the right. So there's really no way that you can just get up and leave the game to let it go. You got to keep playing. Now this is in complete real time. So we're going from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas. It's about an 8-hour trip. So we just keep on going. And if you look at the speedometer, it maxes out at 45 miles per hour. And Tori shakes her head. By the way, Tori's running the camera. Anyway, so they were saying, well, you know, since video games are so violent, quote unquote, we'll just make this game, which is completely unviolent. And pretty much this is the gist of it. For 8 hours, this is what we do. Drive down the road. I'm going to hit the ditch. And it dies. Now if we wait a little bit, the flashing lights, that is rich. Okay, so evidently whenever you hit the ditch and your bus stalls out, you have to wait for the tow truck to come get you. So that's what we're doing right now, is the tow truck is hitching up the bus. That's funny. I wish they'd release this, you know, when it came out. This would have been the best $55 I ever spent on a video game. And now it goes in reverse as the tow truck is towing me back. There's the clock, which you can't really see because it's not in high definition. And me. Yeah, after listening to a podcast with Penn, he was saying that the concept is actually the person who came up with the concept was one of the producers from 2.5 Men. It's kind of interesting because that's a ridiculously funny show, and so I guess the guy has ridiculously funny ideas. Oh, that's funny.